What is up, my fellow Chibits? Hopefully all of you are having a very good day. And so as always, I'm here to bring all of you the weekly Hunter x Hunter manga chapter review, this time on chapter 375. Now, to quickly just let all of you know, if you're new to my Hunter x Hunter manga reviews, I want to be going through the chapter, analyzing panels, and explaining in depth kind of what's going on and my thoughts on the situation. So, if you have the chapter nearby and you can pull it up alongside me, and we can, look at it together. Now, to clarify a couple of things, I am going to be actually reviewing the Viz Media translation of the chapter. I've been doing it for the past couple of reviews now, and the reason for that, as I have been saying, is because the translation from MS, they make the chapter more confusing, or the series more confusing than it needs to be, and that is why I wait for the Viz Media translation, because it's just overall a better translation. I do say that this chapter review is probably going to be on a shorter side than normal, and the reason for that is because it's a very simple chapter for Hunter x Hunter standards. This is actually a simple chapter. Yes, for Hunter x Hunter standards. And the reason why is because about a good portion of the chapter is just clarifying nin abilities. For instance, the Spirit Beast, the Guardian Spirit Beast nin abilities, and others set up with Bisky and all of that. So, I mean, it's a pretty simple chapter. I mean, there's some things here and there. I do believe that this video is going to be over 10 minutes to 20 minutes maybe, but I do think this is going to be shorter than my other ones I have released. But let's get right into it, okay? Because you guys are here for the Hunter x Hunter manga chapter review. We basically start off chapter 375 with Tyson. We get to see Tyson and basically how she's interacting with everybody, a part of her group, all of her bodyguards, assistants, all of that. All the cold, lonely nights and the times you wish you could, take back, they will one day become beautiful memories. This is love, the power of love. From the Book of Tyson, 2nd chapter, verse 4, Kana Chronicles. So everybody's just praising Tyson, following her and all that. And as we know, she has a bit of a cult, and she, has her own religion. We know she has, this book and all that everybody got, all the bodyguards got. And you can read it to find out more about, what she believes or what you guys should believe in if you're a part of her religion. To clarify about this scene, though, what it does besides explaining her Ninbi stability, it also lets us know that the individuals, the two bodyguards that we have been following very closely with Prince Tyson, right now, they are not completely under the effects of Prince Tyson's Ninbi stability, but they are starting to get the effects of it, but they're not completely. And let me read the description of her Ninbi to kind of clarify what is going on. Now, I'm just going to say right now, actually, before I show the description, the differences between this and MS is pretty drastic, actually. I mean, you could go and check for yourself. But okay, so 6 Prince Tyson's Guardian Spirit Beast Emitter. Diffusive Levy type, the Eyewog sticks to those who receive a Book of Tyson. The Eyewogs collect aura from their host in exchange for happiness. The degree of happiness depends upon how thoroughly they read the Book of Tyson. However, breaking the soul taboo in the book brings about severe punishment. So what this basically lets us know is that if you have the Book of Tyson, you will get one of those little figures on you. One of those little creatures that have been on their shoulders, wandering around doing little banzai type hand movements. You actually see one in this chapter do it. What happens is they actually steal the aura from you. They collect your aura and they deliver it back over to the Nin Beast and Tyson, I'm assuming. And once they do that, they exchange your aura for happiness. So if you have a big amount of aura, or if you have any type of aura, they're just going to suck it out of you, and then on return it's like an equivalent exchange. Here's your happiness. And I'm assuming the more you read into the Book of Tyson, since it does say it, depending on the effects of the happiness and all that, depends on how thoroughly you read the Book of Tyson. I'm assuming depending on how much you read, depends on how much the Eyewogs can actually steal aura from you, but in exchange give you happiness. So let's, do a easy, simple description of it. So let's say there's a 10-page book, okay? There's a 10-page book. The Book of Tyson's 10 pages. And as soon as you receive it, maybe they can only extract 1% of your total aura, okay? Per day or something, okay? I'm just giving an estimate. They're only able to extract a limited, couple of drops from you just because you've only managed to receive the Book of Tyson. Now, if you have read, let's say, a page out of the 10 pages, then that would mean that the eyewall could maybe collect 10% of your aura, but in exchange, they give you a little bit more happiness. That is equivalent exchange to that 10%. And then, let's say if you read the entirety of the Book of Tyson, then you gain 100% happiness, but you lose 100% of your aura. That's what I'm assuming. Now, I could be wrong there, but that's what I'm assuming. For instance, the more you thoroughly read the Book of Tyson, the more aura that is extracted from you, but in turn, more happiness is delivered. Now, it's not actually stated what taboo it is. I could be forgetting some things. If it has been stated that there was a taboo in the Book of Tyson, then you guys correct me in the comments below. I personally don't remember. It's been a while, and I forget the chapter number. Forgive me, but if it has been mentioned, whatever taboo is in the Book of Tyson, let me know in the comments below. But for now, though, depending if there is a taboo or not that we're aware of, if you break the taboo, then you will be severely punished. So it's very similar to religion. I mean, it really is. It's kind of like how, you know, when you think of the Bible. I'm not going to get into that big debate because that's just a loaded area, and I'm not going to get into that one. But basically, if you do anything wrong, you know, you are punished for it. And so that's pretty much what you can get from this. It's kind of like more of the Book of Tyson and her cult turning more into a religion instead of an occult. So it's cool. It's cool to see the characteristics of her Nin Beast. So we have Kami's Nin Beast. So Kami's Nin Beast, it is a spirit beast manipulator. So it manipulates people. So that's pretty obvious. I mean, Kami and her mentality and how she is as a person, how she wants people to basically just kill themselves. I mean, it makes sense that Kami's Nin Beast would be a manipulator. Just common sense. Apparently, its ability, it controls someone who fulfills its conditions at will. So depending on certain conditions, the Nin Beast will take control of you, and probably take control of you, make you a mindless puppet. For instance, similar to what we saw in the past when one of the bodyguards there, Kurapika, went crazy and all that and couldn't control himself. I'm assuming that's the type of Nin Beast that, you know, this is, what Kami's Nin Beast is. If you do certain conditions and then you actually do them, then you will probably die. I could definitely see, since Kami is like a person that wants you to commit suicide because of how she is, I say as soon as the conditions are filled, the beast will have you kill yourself. Now, once again, I do want to reiterate that, as we know, the spirit beasts, they cannot go out of their way and attack other princes and their spirit beasts. That has been stated in the past. So I'm just making sure I clarify before anyone starts saying, like, wait a minute, this means that Kami is going to start manipulating Benjamin or something. No, that's not going to happen. As it's been stated, Kami, or none of the princes and their spirit beasts can target other princes. Like, princes can, but the spirit beast can't. For instance, if Benjamin was to go out of his way and attack Halkenburg, that would mean that the spirit beast wouldn't attack, Benjamin. That's just how the conditions of it is. So that's basically saying that, none of these abilities we see will affect the prince. Only their bodyguards and people underneath them. The fifth prince. So, Tube, I'm just gonna call him, Tubeppa. You know what, Tubeppa. Let's call this, or her. My bad, I forgot. Tubeppa is a female. I remember making the same mistake in the past in my previous reviews. But, Tubeppa, Spirit Beast, Transmuter. It's a collaborative type that requires a research partner for activation. The beast can produce a variety of drugs within its body. So, the only way that this thing actually works is if it does have someone nearby. For instance, Tubeppa needs to have someone nearby as a partner, and then it activates this beast, and then it starts creating chemicals and stuff in its body. So, I'm going to assume that this creature could probably create some, stuff that we've seen in mythology or lore or, different stories and stuff. I could see this creature maybe being responsible for creating a love potion or something. I could definitely see that being a possibility. If it can make a variety of different drugs and stuff in its body, it might be able to make stuff that can affect someone's mind and even manipulate them. So, even though it's a transmuter, it could probably be a type of spirit beast that could also dive into the realm of manipulating someone, too. Now, next one, 7th Prince, Luzurus. Hopefully I'm saying his name right, Luzurus. Guardian Spirit Beast Conjurer. It has a pseudo, manipulation ability, sets a trap by conjuring whatever the target desires as bait, and activates once the target falls for it. So, this ability, at first glance, it doesn't seem like it's, too strong. Like, when you look at the others, it doesn't seem like it's crazy, but it is, once again, it is a manipulator ability, and the creature actually targets the desires of someone, and then sets bait. And I'm assuming if you go for the bait, then the creature will take control of you. Have to take control. For instance, you'll still have your own will and all that, like you have your will, but if you break those certain rules or whatever, then you're punished. And so I feel like from the way this is being established is that his spirit beast is definitely strong. Can be very, very strong because of how it targets people's desires. I could definitely see this playing a part with Vergei. Think about Vergei for a second this chapter. I'll get into him in a minute. I'll get into him. He's definitely worth a big discussion when it comes to this latest chapter. But think about Vergei and how this spirit beast will work. If it does bait people, like it gives you your desires, I'm assuming it could cause illusions. For instance, like let's say you were into rubbing your phone or something, okay? Like you like rubbing your phone. I don't know. People are into some freaky stuff, okay? Well, maybe this creature will throw a phone in front of you for you can start rubbing it or something. I mean, that's what I'm getting at. I feel like this creature, it doesn't look crazy, but it probably is. We just gotta see where it's gonna go. So now we're moving into Prince Halkenburg. So this one gives a little bit more clarification of how crazy his spirit nin beast is. So the bodyguard that, Benjamin placed for Halkenburg, he's like, this is dangerous, we must do something quickly, or this could become a threat to first Prince Benjamin. Each individual's aura was average, but once they assembled with 9th Prince Halkenburg, their power rose suddenly. What he's trying to say is that, as we know, all of the bodyguards that were underneath Prince Halkenburg, they became nin users. They actually had their nin awakened. So they didn't even need to go through the training that, what Kurapika is doing. He already has an army of nin users. And even though they probably don't know how to properly use it, the aura alone that they're getting from it is allowing them to be stronger than normal. And so he has a very strong army. Now, to go even further as well, it's very similar to what happened to the Chimera Ants. You remember in the Chimera Ants when they were opening up their pores and you had to where they were getting punched and all that to awaken their nin? That's basically what happened. With Prince Halkenburg's, nin beast, when it put the feather in them, it awakened their nin, and now they have access to nin. Now, from what is explained about this nin beast, it is a symbiotic relationship type nin ability. Now, when they're all on the same wavelength, they produce an enormous amount of aura. So here's the ability. Knife Prince Halkenburg Guardian Spirit Beast, Enhancer symbiotic type. The greater the number of those with the mark of the feather who gather under the prince, the higher their potential. When the group unifies and activates its ability, it reaches the highest level among nin abilities. Now, this picture alone is pretty frightening. Yeah, I'm using the words of the bodyguard. That is frightening, or this is frightening, because for Togashi to go out of his way and state that it reaches the highest level among nin abilities, that lets you know that Prince Halkenburg's nin beast is pretty ridiculous. Now, looking at the aura alone, it's massive in size, and we do know individually these soldiers are not that crazy. They have average aura. But when they all join as a group, they're on the same wavelength and they're thinking together about something, one goal, one ideal, then they become this unstoppable force. And so in a lot of ways, Prince Halkenburg's enhancer-like ability is on a whole new level. And typically when it comes to enhancers, they're very average or standard. Like, they're nothing amazing, nothing like, whoa, that's crazy. I mean, usually enhancers, they're very plain and dull when it comes to what we've seen from them. But I gotta hand it to Togashi for how crazy this looks. How Halkenburg actually has a very unique enhancer ability that could prove to be very challenging for anybody to get around, because if he's constantly surrounded by a big group that's on the same wavelength as him, nobody's going to be able to touch him. Nobody. So that's the scary part about this. If for Togashi to clarify that this is the highest level, I could definitely see if he had enough followers, like if Halkenburg had enough followers to actually be around him, I could easily see him being at the level of Netero or even Marayam if he had enough people around him. That's basically what this ability is trying to imply here. If he had enough people, his aura would reach to that level. All of his followers and all that. That's scary. That's really scary. Yeah. You have it to where the bodyguard's like, okay, with this, I need to attack him when he's alone and all that. But he's like, I can't do that right now because the nin beast, it knows I can use nin. It's always on alert. If I approach Halkenburg with the clear intent to kill, I don't know how it'll fight back. I expect it'll shoot its ruffled feathers. Oranzy First Queen Uma's guard on the opposite shift had received the mark of the feather along with the others. But the fact that it disappeared in 10 minutes shows it has no effect on those who feel no loyalty to Halkenburg. So it's not a manipulative ability. So what this is trying to let us know is that Prince Halkenburg, his Nimbeast does have some conditions. It cannot just automatically gain more people to have the mark from the Nimbeast and then be with the group to power up everybody. That cannot happen. So if you're not a loyal follower to Halkenburg, then you're not going to be able to be joined in that group gathering that they had in this chapter. So that is a weakness to it. So depending on how Halkenburg is as a person, if nobody becomes more loyal to him, or if he does something very horrible that people don't want to be loyal to him anymore, then that would mean that they would lose the effects of the Nimbeast. Now, I'm going to assume that if the people that are around Halkenburg also lose their loyalty towards him, that would also mean that they would lose the feather mark on their hand. That's what I'm assuming. That's what's being implied here. For the first Queen's Guard, a part of Halkenburg's shift to actually have this, like, have lost the feather, but he received it, but he lost it later. It does show that anyone can receive the mark, but it will disappear if you're not loyal. So, yeah, I'm assuming if you fall out of, loyalty with the man, then you also lose the mark. But, however, there is something that needs to be mentioned, too, about this Nimbeast's ability. So it is stated that even though it is like an enhancer Nimbeast, it does have a manipulator-like ability as well. And so, like I said a couple of chapters ago, when all of the bodyguards had been marked and all that, and they now have this aura, it's not just the fact that their Nin was, activated, it's also the fact that they're under the control of a Nimbeast that altered their memories, and so they're under the effect of a manipulator, which in turn means they cannot be manipulated. So, you have it where Halkenburg has an army that cannot be manipulated. And as I've already read through this chapter, a lot of the Spirit Nimbeast, they have manipulator abilities. So, none of them will be manipulated by the other Nimbeast. So, Halkenburg's Nimbeast is ridiculous, because it actually manipulates someone. Then it also causes it to where it enhances them. So yeah, but I do want to point out something though. Remember, the first Queen's bodyguard was also manipulated before he kept the mark. So his memories are still gone. His memories were tampered with and deleted. So that does mean that the effect still lingers on. So that bodyguard is still being manipulated. So that means that bodyguard from the, the first queen cannot be manipulated by any other spirit beast. So he's fine right now. So yeah, that's an interesting little note. I feel like that's going to be used for the future, that the first queen's guard, Ornzi, or however you pronounce his name, I believe he is going to be very vital for something else in the future when it comes to the other spirit beast. So, next thing to talk about is also, let's talk about the conditions and what would happen if this bodyguard was to attack the Spirit Beast. So he's like, it's highly likely it also has a counteractive in order to better affect memories. Because attacking second carries more risk. It can perform a more powerful revision, even overwrite my target as Prince Benjamin. What he's basically trying to say here is that right now the Spirit Beast can only mess with your memory somewhat. It can't go all in and just completely change your whole life story. It does not probably have that ability. The only thing it could change is how you received the mark in the first place. I believe that's the only thing the Spirit Beast can really mess with. However, if you are to attack the Prince, or attack the Spirit Beast, then that might open up a new condition for the Spirit Beast to mess with more of your memories. To where, let's say your objective was to attack Halkenburg, and the Spirit Beast was aware of this. Then, since you attacked first, and you fulfilled a condition, it would go into your memories, it would rewrite your objective of taking down Prince Halkenburg, and you would have to attack Prince Benjamin, someone that you're working for. That's what he's basically saying, and he would be completely unaware of it, because his memories were completely tampered with. So, and he would be unaware of it. So yeah, that's the cool part about this, and he's being very cautious, because he's like, look, I don't know anything about the Spirit Beast, I know what it's able to do somewhat, but one wrong move, and it could probably have another move I don't even know about. For instance, it has, like, some form of condition where it can manipulate me even more than it already does. So that is a little part we need to remember. So, next thing, he also states that if he's going to do something like this, if he's going to attack it, or attack them individually, like, Prince Halkenburg, he's going to need 2 other people near him, because you cannot do this operation with one dude, because if the Nimbeast does have the ability to rewrite your memories to change your targets or whatever, that would mean that he couldn't go out of his way and, attack by himself, or that would happen. So you would need others near him to make sure his memories stay intact and he is reminded of what is really going on. However, there is something he is not remembering. As I already stated in this video, the Nin Beast, apparently, when it puts the mark on someone, it can erase your memories. So this does let us know that if he does get a mark placed on him and all of that, where he gets his memories tampered with, then maybe the creature, the Nin Beast, has the condition fulfilled to where it can go out of its way and also attack the two others nearby and also alter their memories. We don't know. There could be other conditions as well. So I just want to make sure I clarify that. Let's also talk about what Prince Benjamin said about the other rooms, which gave me a little chuckle. It's nothing relatively crazy, it's funny to me. He's like, the assassin in room 1014, the united force of 1009, and the scum in 1004. That right there. The final line, the scum in 1004, that made me laugh. Basically, he's talking about, Nitch, the fourth prince and all of that. He's basically saying that prince is a piece of crap and all of that. I love it. I love how the man was just basically putting him down, just like a good old brother-brother relationship right there. Prince Halkenburg, he also, after this gathering he just had, he wants to actually go out of his way and talk to his father. He wants to talk to the king and persuade him to put this off because he's tired of his siblings killing each other for the victory, whoever will be the ruler of, the kingdom. He doesn't like this. And so you see the man crying in this chapter, if I do nothing and there's another victim, I might as well have killed them myself. So he feels responsible. And so he's got these loyal followers realizing he just doesn't want this bloodshed. And this is how his character has always been. But there is one thing I want to make sure I continuously push into the ground for you guys can remember this and nail in, is that, remember, Halkenburg, he has a connection with the Fourth Prince. He thinks that him and the Fourth Prince are very similar, on the same wavelength in a way. So that's scary. He is the person that has some of Kurapika's clan's eyes. He's also someone that is very awful. He is someone that has killed a lot of people. And looking at Halkenburg's personality from what we have seen, he doesn't seem like that type of dude that would like that type of stuff. Unless he has crocodile tears and he's been lying the entire time, which I can definitely see Togashi doing something like that. So, this prince, she doesn't have her nin ability, her spirit beast nin ability explained at all. Which I think it's pretty self-explanatory for what really happened in the last chapter. Basically, she knows she can have a door appear, but when she tries to wish for the door to appear in this chapter, it doesn't. And the reason for it is because she is yet to fulfill a condition. Let's think about what happened in the last chapter. In the last chapter, she wanted to see her sister, okay? She badly wanted to see her sister. She was thinking of her sister, and then a door popped up. She went through the door, then she wound up in her sister's room. Her sister was there, crying as well, looking at pictures of her sister as well. So, if you have to look at this, what the scene was trying to show, it was trying to show that most likely the condition is that both sides, they have to wish to see each other. For instance, if she wants to see her sister also needs to want to see her as well. And then a door will open up. So in that scene when she's like, hush, hush, go away and all, like, trying to hush her away, she went back in and then she couldn't get back in because the sister didn't want her there anymore. Because she just didn't want her to get in trouble or noticed. So that's basically what happened. And I'm assuming the condition is just both sides need to want to see each other. And so if that is not fulfilled, then it's not going to happen. Now we move over into probably one of the best parts of the chapter, which made me laugh so hard. We move over into the Bisky and Hanzo and Vergei segment of the chapter. So Bisky finally wakes up Hanzo. She's like, time's up. You made me pull an all-nighter. It better be worth it. And he's like, I made him pay, but now there's a bigger problem. You have it where Hanzo clarifies to Bisky what's been going on, of how the 13th Prince Marayam's, Nin Beast has trapped them all in this room and all that. Right now they need to figure out how they can get out of here. And so Hanzo and all them try to go talk to Vergei. And Vergei's like, no. He doesn't want to believe it and all that. He continues to be that hard, stubborn individual that I talked about in the last chapter. He's very similar to Welfin. A lot of people actually mentioned that in my last chapter review, that he has a lot of characteristics similar to Welfin. I mean, he's different in some ways, but at the same time, he just doesn't trust things. He's not trusting. He doesn't trust the Hunter Association. He's very suspicious, which, like I said, makes sense. We have it to where Bisky's like, okay, we could teach the staff here. We could teach the staff Nin here. We'd like you to watch and ascertain the truth of Nin. They're trying to turn this man into a believer. So, as I said, seeing is believing. And when you think about what Nin is and him as an individual, it's kind of like how we are. As individuals, if someone said they could breathe fire or they can, fly, you would probably laugh at them, okay? You would not believe it, you would laugh at them. And so they're like, okay, fine, let's show you Nin, for you cannot disprove it anymore. You can actually see it for yourself. Bisky reveals her beefcake form, her JoJo form. And this is when I started dying. I started dying, yo, just looking at these faces is making me, okay, so, Bisky, her form, I'm just gonna say, she's swole. I'm not even gonna lie, okay, I mean, I know that, I'm not one to go after someone like Bisky, especially the way she looks, but I'm not gonna lie, in terms of the way she looks in this chapter, I think this is the most attractive this form has ever been. I'm not gonna lie, I will not lie. I can definitely see this entire ordeal with Vergei actually leading to some character development for Bisky, because just as an FYI, as we know, Bisky doesn't really like her muscular form. Like, she's never really liked it. She always preferred her cute small form. She never really thought her big buff form was that attractive, and when you think about it, I feel like Vergei falling in love with her, having this little crush towards her, might give Bisky development to where this would be the first time in her life someone has actually liked her swole form. And this might lead to where she might even develop feelings for Vergei, which would be quite a twist if that is indeed what happens. I feel like that's where Togashi wants to take this, especially with this whole twist with Vergei's character and how he's into muscle girls. Like, he's definitely into muscle girls. There's no denying that one. She's like, okay, so you need to tell me who you want me to teach. Like, who do you want to learn Nin and all that, since I'll be teaching you guys here. I can't promise that I want to be teaching Nin as fast as Kurapika, but I can at the very least increase your physical capabilities. And so he's like, teach me Nin, teach me Nin. So the man wants to be taught. He wants to be taught by Bisky, which... The man, dude, his personality shift is great. Like, he's definitely one of my favorites now from this arc, just because of how he's going after Bisky. He continues on, you can see he's basically just a complete tsundere. Like, the man, the way he's like, don't get me wrong, I still don't believe what Kurapika said. He's a tsundere. He is a male tsundere, and that just is making me love it. I just love this whole interaction between him and Bisky in this chapter. So, Belly, which needs to go to the Nin class in the first place and all of that, he opens up the door. He needs to go anyways to leave the room, so he's going to find out if he can leave or not. And as soon as he's about to leave, you have it to where Bisky, she puts her hand on Vergei's shoulder, and the man starts freaking out, analyzing her muscles again, and just like, it's too much of me. I just couldn't help but just start laughing. I'm trying to hold back laughing now because it's just too good. But anyway, she states what most likely is going on. 3 different categories that could be going on here with this room. Either A, you have it to where the room could not be crossed. For instance, no one could either leave or exit now that it's been placed, like this entire dimension's been created. Most likely nobody can leave or come in. And the second one would be that anyone could freely leave and come in, which most likely is not the case, because if that was the case, that would mean that, Hanzo should have been able to come into the room and see all of them. So it's definitely not number 2. Number 1 is a possibility, but number 3, one way makes a lot of sense. She's like, there are no visible changes to the outside. Most are number 3, and you can't get back once you leave. So what a one way would mean is obvious what it means, but I mean, just to explain, is that once you leave the area, you leave the dimension, you can't come back in. And so you're completely trapped. So that means that as soon as Belly left the room, he can't get back in. He's not getting back in that room. So he's isolated now, and they're in their safe environment where nobody else can really enter unless the Spirit Beast allows them to enter. So yeah, that's some nice information that we got with the chapter. I think that does let us know that Prince Marayam's overall Nimbeast is definitely able to keep them all protected, because if nobody else can really come in, unless the Spirit Beast wants them or Marayam wants them in, then that would mean that they have a perfect little room that nobody can intervene with or mess with. They're safe. So Marayam could potentially live to the end because of how this ability works. I could definitely see if he was to leave the room, though, maybe the ability would deactivate if he walks out of the room, unless there's a condition that we're unaware of to the ability. But for now, though, if he walks out of the room, I feel like, Prince Marayam would deactivate the Spirit Beast. So, yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to this chapter. I mean, That's about it. I guess the best part about the chapter, personally, to me, was definitely Vergei's twist with his character and how he's in love with muscle girls. I just can't help but laugh and all of that. So, just good stuff, Togashi. Keep up the quality work. Can't wait to see what happens next. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And I love you guys. Please be safe. Chibi out.